I blame Starbucks for this
Oh,
because
absolutely.
they decided to start releasing holiday drinks on November 1st. And, I guess women love Starbucks, which I love Starbucks to an extent. But I feel like women worship the Starbucks schedule. So because Starbucks says Christmas starts on November 1st, Christmas just all of a sudden starts on November 1st.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are episode Who F'n Kneauxs, season 2 of the Who F'n Kneauxs podcast, recording remotely today. I cannot see what you're showing me on the cup, but I want to give Office fan. There you go. I want to give a big shout out though before we even dive in here to Dave, big time Rangers fans. Dave is on a ride right now with all of his sports teams. But I want to give the floor to you, my man. I know y'all had, not talking that. Yeah, shit, I can't even find my words today. Y'all had that baseball pod. I'm sure you guys dove in, but here's your floor on Who F'n Kneauxs.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was telling Marcelo last night. At that moment, it was just too hard to come up with the words of how it felt. So this is my second greatest sports day, I guess. The Saints are number one. The Saints will always be number one. And I love my Knights, but I think because the Knights were good from day one, it was just kind of it was a matter of time before they won a championship. But with the Rangers, after 2011, when we were one strike away twice and didn't win, it felt like we were never going to go back. And there were so many dark years. And it was so just something about that. Plus, I have family and a lot of friends that are also Rangers fans, so I had more people to celebrate this one with, and it just felt good, man. It's very close to the Super Bowl, very close. It sucked to be alone and celebrate it, but
working, sitting probably in a dark, quiet room.
Yeah. But
I did get pump. What was the excitement level?
The fist pump. I let the whole thing out. I told Marcelo I'd be lying to you if I didn't shed a single tear. Sports have a connection to people, man. I was talking to somebody about this earlier, and just one of my friends that I've known for a while, and she just texted me back. She was like, "Men in their sports." I was like, "Listen, friends, girls, all these things come and go, but the Rangers have been there my whole life." I was like,
yeah.
When the Rangers let me down, at least next year they try to make it up to me.
Yeah,
people don't always do that.
When you're like, friends come and go, the Rangers are there forever. My first thought was, somebody should tell the fans in Oakland that.
Yikes.
Their teams haven't been there forever. They gone.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, but no, man, it felt really good. It's still fun. It still every video still hits when I see it. I was up till at least 3 a.m. yesterday, just watching the same videos on Twitter from different angles,
just over and over.
Yeah, I spent like $85 on shirts. I spent $30 on you said the other day that you think print media is dying. I just spent $30 on newspapers. So
I'm telling you, that's the only time.
They still have a place.
It's the only time. You're framing it. You're putting it on the wall. If you even get to that, you're probably too lazy. If I know you, I know I am personally.
It's not that I'm too lazy. Framing things is expensive as it is. But listen,
somebody needs to investigate these print shops.
Listen, my house does not have enough room right now to be framing stuff and putting it on. I barely got enough room for all the toys I got between two kids.
Oh man, they don't get you ready for that. Have you seen? This is a great transition. I'm not going to lie, because one of the topics I was going to bring up is about this show. But lately, I've been trying to talk my daughter into getting rid of toys. We have too many toys, and more toys are coming because Christmas is right around the corner. Have you seen the Bluey episode where they do a chuck pile?
No, I have not. Maybe I need to, because I'm also trying to talk Kaysen into getting rid of some toys.
I love it. It's amazing. I'd have to go back and watch it. I can't remember what the exact theme, or not theme, but the overarching hey, this is the reason why you need to get rid of your toys. Can't remember what it was, but it's just wild adventure where basically the dad plays all these games, but he allows the monkey to call the shots, and then the monkey takes over the whole family. And it's beautiful. And then at the end of it, they get rid of all the toys because the monkey was power hungry, I think. And that was that.
Is that like your last strategy? Did you try to come up with something else beforehand for a reason? Because I told Kaysen we were supposed to do it before his birthday. Like when we got back from Disney, the plan was because his birthday was a few weeks later. So the plan was start cleaning out, get ready for more presents. And we kept telling him like, all right, we're doing the whole thing where we're going to give your toys to kids who don't have toys, that whole thing. Right. And he was like, okay, cool. And then we just never did it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've tried that. We haven't actually tried to get rid of anything yet, but I've like tried the soft approach of like, yeah, there's other kids out there that don't have toys. We need them. We're going to donate them. And she's like half open to that. You pull the heartstrings a little bit. I like that. It's a good call on your part.
But some things have just kind of started to disappear.
Yeah, I was going to say, but the real plan is just like randomly things just aren't there anymore. Sorry, babe. I don't know what happened to it. We must have lost it. The problem is there's so many. I want to do a whole overhaul, and you're not going to be able to avoid the amount of toys that are then going to be missing.
Yeah, but if you time it right, she'll only go like just a little bit of time without them because Christmas is going to come and she's going to forget all about those. You know the ones that she always plays with that you can't touch.
Listen, man, it's actually so surprising for me, and it drives me nuts at the same time. I'm in trouble because what happens is her brain, I don't know why it works this way. She'll be in bed and she'll randomly be like, hey, there's this stuffed animal, say it's a monkey. Hey, monkey is under the cushion behind the sofa underneath a blanket, and it's been there for 3 weeks. I need it. I'm in bed. I need it. And that's how her brain works. She just randomly thinks of a random obscure toy that she knows she has, and she knows exactly where it is, but she hasn't seen it for months. And all of a sudden she needs it now.
He has the same three. The same three stay with him. He never wants a random one. He's got three, and then he's got a fourth one that's it's an elephant that when we did the ultrasound for Zayden, we put the heartbeat in it and gave it to him. He picked it out. So every now and then he wants that, and we got to find it and do that. But we've gotten rid of a few things, but we're also in that weird place because we have Zayden. It's like, what do we want to save? Like the big stuff we're trying to save, but then I'm also like, people are just going to buy him all the same shit all over again. Like by the time he's 3, the stuff that Kaysen has is going to be so outdated.
Yeah, I was trying to explain that to my wife 3 years ago when we were keeping everything for just in case we have another one. And I was like, no, we're going to buy new stuff if we have another one. I'm not saving this stuff for years.
I learned you keep furniture and like bikes, and that's it. Yeah. Like other than that, and like we have one of those, the cars he can drive himself that I spent like a lot of money on because it's also remote control for me to drive it until he's able to. Yeah. So like I'm keeping that. Like if I spend a decent amount of money on it, we're keeping it. But like this little $30 toy that there's 100 different versions of, we're not keeping it. Like it's going somewhere else. We'll just buy it. Get rid of it. Yeah. Yeah. Like we need stuff to be able to get Zayden. We're not going to rewrap the presents.
It's fair. You could just, just rewrap an old toy and give it to Zayden. Here you go, buddy. It's brand new for you. New to you. No, the reason I even brought this up is I wrote down earlier this week, and listen, every parent has probably had this thought at once. Bluey specifically, which got me into this subject, transcends every kid show I have ever seen. Like it is the most amazing kid show. It's my favorite kid show. Maybe my favorite show on television. By far.
Yeah,
it's like unavoidable.
I think y'all are way. I like it as much as you like it, but I don't think Kaysen likes it as much as Dylan likes it. But he does go through these spurts where he just wants to watch Bluey for like a week, but then he'll go 3 weeks without ever wanting to watch it. Right. So but that week where he wants to, I'm like, yes. Right now he's on the Nightmare Before Christmas thing for the first time, and to be honest, this is the first time I'm ever seeing it. So I'm like, okay, it's cool, and then. Now I'm over it. All the songs are always in my head.
Dude, the Bluey songs will get you too, I'm telling you. Speaking of Halloween, did you work on Halloween? I can't remember. You probably did.
I worked during no, I was off. Just me and Kaysen went
trick-or-treating. Any crazy trick-or-treating experiences?
No, just it was cold, so we left. Courtney stayed home with Zayden. That was my last night off. So I took Kaysen out with our old neighbors in the neighborhood. Just did a quick little lap because he was kind of sick. So I was like, let's get in, get out, keep him moving. But he had fun. Nothing crazy this year. A lot of golf carts are having a moment. I want to throw that out there. I don't know how it is by y'all. By us, golf carts are having a moment, like just out of nowhere. Everybody's got golf carts.
It's the subdivisions like yours. To be It's the ones that are a little bit bigger, where it's like multiple streets, like kind of like it's all over the place. Like you're not going to walk from the front to the back, or you may,
Right.
but when I was a kid, I would have. Yeah, no, our subdivision though, like it's just one big loop, and nobody like.
Dude,
there's one house that has a golf cart.
I told Courtney, y'all subdivision is like the ideal trick or treating neighborhood. It is it's walk out the door, go left or right, come right back, and just make the loop. There's
It was amazing too, because like so you did that, right? And we even skipped some houses because like she wasn't paying attention, and I was like, oh well, whatever. I guess we'll hit them if we pass them, and she realizes we skipped them. But we made the mistake. So we did like almost 3/4 of the neighborhood, right? Because we started at a friend's house, and we made the mistake of crossing the bridge because there's that other subdivision that's just like a street that's connected to ours. So I guess it's technically still our subdivision. And we went over there, and man, I was over there 5 minutes. I had to pee. I was cold. It's just like, I just want to get out of here. I just need to get back to the house somehow. And I really respected. We finally wrapped up. We finally get back to our little friend's house. It's really my daughter's friend's house. And the way the mom, who hosted the party there to kick off this whole thing, the way she ended the night, it was like chef's kiss. Because I was so worried. I was like, man, it's like 8:00. We're at this house. Dylan's not going to want to leave. Like we're stuck here for at least another 30, 45 minutes. I'm ready to go. And the mom looks at the dad, and we're outside. She's like, I'm cold and I got to pee. Thanks for coming, guys. Bye. And like just walks inside and takes her daughter. And I was like, awesome. I can leave now. It was great.
I love that.
Best way ever. Now, if I wanted to stay, I probably would have been like, damn, okay. But I didn't. So it worked out.
That's funny. I love that. Well, man, I feel like we need to talk some Pels.
Yeah. There's plenty to talk about.
So this is what we're gonna do, because as you know, I've been a little tied up with baseball. So I got to watch a little bit tonight, but then I was working on that video and I didn't get to watch. So what I want you to do is just give me like a brief rundown of what I've missed in the first like 5 games. Man. Now I do know that we're already dealing with typical Pels stuff, and I'm sure we'll talk about that. But for somebody who's now diving in, because I will now be fully invested in the Pels until hockey season like really ramps up. But
I'll tell you this, it's Pels stuff to a T. And when I say that, I say that to preface the whole discussion, because I haven't even been able to watch a ton of Pels stuff because Bally Sports has been in the crapper. Like I haven't been able to use the app until tonight, and I wasn't even able to use it until about halfway through the game. So I had an illegal stream one night. I think one night we were out and about, so I was like trying to catch it on my phone. The one game I even was able to really watch was the one on ESPN, but then I was still having problems because I was in and out doing stuff. So admittedly, I don't think I've sat down and watched a full game other than the opener, which I caught with the Pels 12, which was really cool. With all that said, though, yes, definitely still a lot of typical Pels stuff. Not tonight, though.
Well, I'm not even talking about like on the court. This is more so a lack of what's on the court.
Yeah,
typical Pels stuff.
That's what I was going to get at. So the typical Pels stuff, right? Like, first of all, BI with the tendonitis or whatever's going on, it's like we're already come in with Jose out and Trey out, and then Najee gets hurt in the preseason too. And it's just like, man, this is rough, but we can get through. It's fine. We got our 2 stars, and that's what we need. BI gets tendonitis, and it's like out of nowhere. There's nothing structurally wrong, but he just doesn't feel right to play. Okay, fans are on him a little bit with that. People aren't liking it. It is what it is. I can't tell somebody how their body feels, but it definitely comes across a little funny. Zion randomly sits out tonight. I know they had the issue last night where they sat on the tarmac and then they couldn't fly out, and then they flew out today. So maybe the team's just trying to do them a solid because of prior stuff.
I saw Willie said that this was the game plan for him, no matter what, that he's not going to sit out every back-to-back, but this one apparently was like part of the plan, which is a whole thing. But keep going, and then we'll get into that.
Yeah. So anyways, injuries aside, that's clearly similar to all years past, right? If we just dive into the way we're playing, though, when you're good, you're good. I'll say that. This team, when they're good, when they're on, man, they look amazing. CJ McCollum has been the MVP of this season so far. I mean, he has been the pros pro. He showed up, which, I mean, Joel and AD kind of like were throwing some shade about like him being a pro and, being the one to show up. They never outright said, the underlying thing, but we all heard it. And aside from that, surprise of the year, Matt Ryan. Like, dude came out of nowhere. I mean, we all knew he could kind of shoot. I was hoping, I know we asked Dylan to be on tonight, and Dylan kind of talked him up when we spoke to him the other day. Man, his game is really surprising me. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'll tell you another thing tonight specifically. I was so surprised, and I didn't get to catch the end. So hopefully I'm not going to eat my words when I go check the box score. I was so surprised though with the effort, the energy, the ball moved like crazy. We shot really well. Defense was playing phenomenal. I mean, just the young guys, they looked really good. So
Jordan Hawkins can shoot, huh?
Jordan Hawkins, yeah. That all these other things are going on. I'm not even talking about Jordan Hawkins. I mean, he's had some stretches where he missed a bunch of shots, but he just looks good all around. He can shoot. He blitzes the ball very well. He gets a lot of sneaky steals. Like he gets unexpected, anticipated steals, and he plays defense pretty well. Like he's way better than I expected in other areas. I thought he was just going to be a shooter.
Well, I saw yesterday he put up a bunch of shots, but I'm absolutely here for it. Like I want shooters to shoot because like if that was Trey, like I want Trey taking 18 shots or whatever it was. Like more often than not, you're gonna hit those shots, and if you're not, you're a shooter. The only way out of that slump is to keep shooting.
Yeah,
so
shooters got to shoot.
Like, yeah, the threat, especially when you're paired with Zion, like you got to take those shots because you're gonna be open on the outside. Just pull it. Like I don't care.
I'll say this too, and this is one game. I'm nitpicking, right? We're very early in the season. It does seem so far, and maybe it's because Zion's working his way back. It does seem that when Zion's on the court, obviously they want to get him the ball because he's freaking Zion, but it seems like the ball sticks a little bit. Like the offense doesn't flow very well, and they got to get that figured out. Now, granted, we only saw one game with him and BI, and then it was him and like guys that were missing a ton of shots, and like guys were just standing in the paint. So it was tough. But I'm interested to see what they do going forward.
I think he's a weird player to try to play through unless you let him be point Zion. Yeah, like that's how I always view it because he's not a typical big man where you just feed it to him in the post, which you can, like he can score that way, right? But he's not Joel Embiid that's just huge and can score, from the post like that easily. And then I don't know, man, like he's just too dynamic to box him in like that. I think the best way to use Zion is just let it flow, let him run the offense, let him initiate. He's an incredible passer, right? For what for what he is. I mean, even like if he was a point guard, he'd be an incredible passer. So like, yeah, I think he just needs to be use him the way the Bucks use Giannis. That feels like the way to use him. And then especially now that you got shooters, especially when you get Trey back and you can have a lineup that has Zion, Matt Ryan, Trey, and Jordan Hawkins around them, and CJ, that's a wrap.
You know what else I love though about Hawkins and Matt Ryan specifically? I mean, we've never had this problem with CJ, but when I say it, you're gonna understand it. They don't hesitate. Them things fly. Like there's no like, oh, should I shoot this? No, it's like, oh, I got the ball. This is going up. And there's no question about it. Yeah. And I love it. I love it.
With Matt Ryan, it's like Hawkins knows he's here, right? Like he knows he's here for the long haul. And whatever. Matt Ryan's like, I gotta prove I belong here. So I'm gonna shoot this, and if it don't go in, I'll be fine on another team, just like I was having to do before, or it's going in and we here.
I don't know how the game ended because I stepped away. But tonight in this game, Matt Ryan had 20 points, his first start ever, and for the first I think it was the first half or something like that, he didn't miss a shot. Like he was lights out. It was insane.
Yeah,
I'm all in. A conversation may need to be had.
I'm close to being on my CJ apology tour. Also, you know what I mean? Good. I'll give him the apology if I need to, but I want him to hit some free throws, and then I'll give him the full apology. But until then, I'll give him a partial apology. Yeah,
he looks good. I mean, maybe the injuries had something to do with it last year, right? Like who knows? Yeah, he looks really good. And honestly, the only weakness right now, it looks like his free throws, like you said. Like he hit the ones that mattered. The place blowing up.
No, somebody might be coming in. 1 second.
Okay.
Let me see what they want.
Anyways, guys, we're going to host the rest of this without Dave. He's going to step away, save some lives. I'm going to sit here and drink water. I was just talking. I figured we'd cut that and move forward. It was at like 2013, I think, if you're looking for it later.
Yeah, I knew that little beep was going to be annoying. So I just wanted to make sure they weren't coming in here. They were just grabbing something. We're good. But anyway, You had stopped perfectly at something. So
I don't remember what I stopped at.
Something about Matt Ryan. I don't know.
Best
Anyways.
Matt Ryan I ever freaking heard of. I don't
Yeah.
like, come on. Anywhere's 37. I know that people think that's weird. I immediately connected it to Steve Gleason earlier. Somebody was like, "Yeah, but he wears 37. I'm not gonna buy his jersey." And in my head, I was like, "Yeah, but that's Steve Gleason. Come on."
Yeah, they got. I saw Rel was retweet this if you're gonna buy a Matt Ryan City Connect jersey, which we can talk about that. Like,
yeah,
those jerseys
bring it up.
Being official is great because they look awesome. But, and I know we already talked about this a little bit. I'm very disappointed in the merch. Like, not to say like what they put out is bad, because it's fine, right? Like you like that? It's like a little doorbell.
Yeah, I'm like,
anyway, but like what they put out is fine. Like those jersey tees, they look good. Like that's you. I was always gonna buy one of those. Like that's what I like to wear because I don't want to buy jerseys. I wanted a black hoodie, which they did, but then they put the number on it, and I'm like, I don't like that. Like I just want, like, just give me the NOLA across a black hoodie, and I am solid. Now I did see that the team store had some stuff from people sharing videos that wasn't on, the in-person team store had a couple things that wasn't on the site. So maybe some more comes out eventually, but so far I am disappointed about what they put out.
Yeah, I'm not super high on it. I don't even know what it is. It's all fine. It's just like, it's not stuff that I'm going to want to buy. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. I like the jersey. That's the only thing I like and the only thing I would buy. And I don't even want to buy a jersey. So that's kind of where I am. I want to see the skeleton more somewhere, like on something.
Yeah, that's like the one skeleton shirt I saw was like, it's just like really small across the chest. And like, I don't like that. Like, just give me a huge skeleton.
Yeah.
And like they had the green long sleeve shirt, which is a nice little twist, I guess, because I was expecting everything to just be black, which would have also been fine. But like, I don't know, switch it up. Like, give me some purple or something. Like, you got all these cool colors. I don't know. It's just missing something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like the jersey, great. Love it. Love everything about it. Like, the more I look at it, and once they were, all those photo shoots with them having them on, just made me love them even more.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, I'm upset because I was ready to buy some merch. Now, thank goodness I'm not, because I spent so much money on World Series merch. I need a break.
Make the call now. Which one of your teams is the next one to win a championship?
Oh man, can I say that the Knights do it again before another team does it?
Jesus, I mean, you can. That's probably your best bet.
Yeah, I mean, that's because number one, it's going to happen. Well, the Super Bowl will happen first. Wait a minute. Does the mid-season tourney count?
I was going to bring that up. I was going to ask. But the mid-season tourney is right around the corner, and you got two stars sitting on the bench right now. We haven't figured out how to play together. I'm so
confused about how this works. I'm going to be honest with you.
I am too. I had no idea it starts tomorrow for some teams or something like that.
Some games count now, then some games don't count later. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll find out we're in it when we're in it.
I know for us it starts November 10th. The first group play game is November 10th against the Rockets. And then from there it kicks off. I can't remember our whole group. I need to go do some more investigation because I was assuming a lot of things coming in. And I thought, like, my wife asked me the other day, she's like, well, when is the in-season tournament? Because we were kind of like talking about it. I was like, oh, it's probably like around the All-Star break. And then I'm watching the game tonight and they're like, yeah, in-season tournament starts November 10th for the Pelicans. I was like, that's next week. I should probably brush up on like how this works.
There's probably like some basketball fans that are like really into European soccer that are like, how do y'all not understand how this works? Right. But I'm like, I'm the same way. I found out today that there's early games that matter.
Yeah. I had no idea. So I understand. I get the like group games and stuff like that. And I get how you get points and all that, but I'm wondering how that translates in basketball. Like if you all end with the same record, like, is it a point system? Is it like, I know in soccer, obviously you get points for winning, and then you get points for like the point differential and like things like that. So I'm curious, like how that's going to play out. I'm sure there's some way they weight it some way to where if there's a tie, somebody wins the group, but
yeah, I'm still interested to see how players approach it. Like the whole thing. Like I know there's a monetary reward and like you do get a trophy and everything. Like I just wonder if like the whole issue, right, is players want to rest throughout the season, and now you're adding more games. I know it's not a lot. It's only like what, 2 extra games if you actually make it to the final or whatever. So, but like the whole more games matter now, I guess. So it's less resting. So you're solving that issue, but the players want to rest. So I'm wondering if guys like LeBron are going to. LeBron's got what, 5 rings, 4 rings. Does he really care about the in-season tournament? You know what I mean?
That's
like we'll see. I feel like a team like the Pelicans is probably more invested in trying to win it to give the fans something than a team like the Warriors or somebody that's done it a bunch of times.
Maybe. I mean, I'm interested. I want to see the first team I see rest players for like one of these group games. I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, like you clearly just don't give a crap about this about this whole thing.
I don't think you will. I feel like there's probably something like the league might not say it, but there's probably something going around like, look, you can rest players for whatever games, but these games this year, you're not doing it. Dude, they're advertising the hell out of this thing.
Oh yeah, it's all over the place. I mean, and the championships or the final games are in Vegas, so like it's a major thing.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, the Pels win it, I'm gonna celebrate it like a championship.
I'm excited about it. It's for me, it's a win. If
it's grown on me a little bit.
Listen, I had to make a bet for the sports drink thing. I'm gonna say it loud and proud right now. My bet is that I took the Pelicans to win the in-season tournament because I was like, why the hell not? Let's see what happens. Let's have fun.
Who knows how many players we'll have available afterwards?
It doesn't matter. That's it. That's a win. That's the expectations for the season is the in-season tournament, nothing else. I don't care what happens after. Make it happen.
I'm counting it. If you give me that, I'll say the Pels will win it. I'll say it right now. You ask me what my next team is. If that counts, I'll say the Pels. If not, I'm saying the Knights repeat because Saints ain't looking too hot. And I just don't trust the Pels to have a fully healthy season and win a championship right now. I still need to see more. So I will say the Knights repeat.
It's tough. I mean, even if the Pels are healthy, I don't think they win the championship, right? They're going to have to figure out a lot of things. I think they can definitely make a run at it. Like they're an intriguing team, but I think you're going to see some moves before the deadline. Teams are really going to get shaken up eventually, right? Like they can't run the same team every year and hope for the same result. But I guess maybe they can. I don't know.
Yeah, they're in an interesting spot because BI is extension eligible and
not playing.
We'll see.
Why? That doesn't make sense. Like that's another thing that's playing into this for me. It's like, you purposely turn down the contract offer, betting on yourself, rightfully so, because you can make a ton more money. But now you're not playing.
Yeah.
Now, like you got to be. I guess you got to be. I don't know. He played in the off season. He did the Olympic thing,
which makes you feel like it's for real. Like if he knows he needs to play for his money, unless he feels like he's just so comfortable that like with David Griffin and everything that they're going to give it to him no matter what. I don't know. But like you assume that he's in a contract year. He knows he needs to be out there and maybe he just can't. We'll see. The Zion thing is more of a talking point, I think, because there's a lot of division on that, on whether he should be out there or not. And I understand both sides of it. I get the resting him so that he's healthy. Number one, he just missed a bunch of time. He's still coming back. I understand the conditioning or whatever, and resting him now so that he's healthy later. But also, I agree with the stuff going around, like what Stan Van Gundy said. The only way for him to get in game shape is to play games. Like and this whole thing where people are like, he's 23 and CJ McCollum is out here playing back to back, and CJ and JV are out there every night. Unless they can't be. Now they'll get their veteran, rest days at some point, but they're going to be out there. And I also think it's something where in the back of everybody's head, we're like, Zion's going to miss time at some point. Maybe it's nothing serious. Maybe he misses a week for a little small injury or something. So a lot of good that's going to do resting him now, missing these games when he probably misses a couple down the road. And I think I see both sides of it, and I lean more towards the side of he should be playing, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm pretty impartial here. I don't really care. Like I just be there when it matters, right? Like you want to sit him, fine, sit him. He hit the floor a lot last night. He was slipping out of his shoes constantly, which I don't understand how this big man slips as often as he does. He was hitting the floor a lot, and I'm just like, man, like I don't like that Zion's hitting the floor so much. Like based on previous issues, I don't want to see this man get hurt. I guess tonight I'm looking at it through just like a very pointed lens. Like they had the flight issues. He's had injury history. Maybe he wanted to rest. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to rest him. I don't really care. You know how protective they are. I think I'll judge it more in the long run. If he gets hurt again, then I'm just like, okay, well, you sat him these games, and now what? Like, clearly it didn't matter.
Well, that's kind of where I'm at, right? Like, we've tried this approach for however many years now, and it doesn't work. So, like, why not just like let him play, and maybe something different happens? Like, or maybe he's just a guy that's gonna get hurt because his body is freakish and like it just can't handle things. But I don't know, man. I feel like I just think he needs to be out there. I know you said be out there when it matters, but who's to say we don't miss the playoffs by one game? And if he would have played, now granted we won, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think we won tonight. So it's like to me now it doesn't matter.
Right, but if he misses a game, a back-to-back later down the road where we lose and we miss the playoffs by one game or seeding, whatever by one game, we're going to be like, maybe if Zion plays that one game, I don't know. And it's not just him now; it's both of them. It's BI, and that's also the other thing is you already have so many people out. It's like, can you at least carry the load right now until we get some people back? And it's all moot, I guess, right now because we're winning, but when we start losing, or if we start losing, people are gonna like really start to turn on that.
Oh, for sure, and rightfully so. I mean, like I won't. Like I said, I'm indifferent. Like I mean, kind of with you. Like you said, you understand both sides, and I do too. Like, but right now, I just don't care. I think you know me. I don't like to let things take up my energy and even give opinions on it if it's just like nonsensical, which I feel like at the moment. We're fucking 6 games into the season, and we're all looking for things to be upset about after game 2. It seemed like let's let it play out a little bit. I know that everybody's like, now, and rightfully so because it's been years of this. But
that's the issue because it's so many years of it, and it's just like people are waiting just because of the way the offseason went. They didn't really add anybody. Mm-hmm. It's just like people are waiting, like. These Twitter streets are nasty right now. We're 5-1, 4-1. Like, it's gonna get ugly if we start losing.
You're winning games, and but your stars aren't playing. So it's they're like, oh, I've seen this before. All it takes is one CJ thumb injury, and we're screwed.
Realistically, that should be encouraging.
Yeah, it should be.
So
it should be. You got even when the stars were there, you had Trey Murphy, Jose, and Najee on the bench, and those are big time minute getters. So I mean. Yeah. It's that's a whole nother discussion too. When all those guys come back, what happens?
Right. It's a good problem to have, though.
It is. It's a very good problem to have. It's also conventional wisdom. If you look around the league, I was going to make this point a couple minutes ago and I know this conversation is kind of winding down, so we move on. But you look around the league, and all these teams do it. They all rest. Steph rests a lot. Clay rests a lot. Like all these guys get rested constantly, and I think it's more of a microscope for us as Pelicans fans because we see that we've done it and it hasn't worked out. But it's kind of like it's just what teams do. It's like conventional wisdom these days.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
That's that. You got any fun stuff?
I have kind of a wild article that I was sent that I was going to tell you about, and I've been it gets somewhat personal, and I've been debating how much I want to share, but. Fuck it. I'll just say it, I guess. All right, hold on, because I wanna pull it up and read it. I actually could show it on the screen, but I'll just read it to you. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
The title is a dad was killed on vacation in Florida, and now his wife and 2 sons are charged in the case. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah, Marty. My soul dropped. I don't like this. Go ahead. Continue.
Wait, this is how the first line of the article says. The body of David Rainey was found in a canal behind a house he and his family had rented hours after he vanished in 2021.
What?
Okay? Wait, we're gonna keep going. All right. So he was killed in 2021, right? Some stuff happened. His wife reported it in 2021 that he was missing. They found him, whatever. On my birthday this year, they decided to arrest his wife and his 2 sons in connection with his death. So they found a guy with my name dead, and then on my birthday, they decided to charge the wife and the son with murder. Now this is where I wasn't sure how much I want to share. I've never met my dad. My dad's name is also David Rainey. He is the same age as the man in this article. So
damn.
I sent it to my mom, and my mom texted me back, is this your dad? I said, well, first off, how would I know? He could be standing right in front of me and I wouldn't know it was him. And she was like, well, I said, do you think he could be dead for 2 years and us not know anything about it? And she was like, I don't know. I don't talk to him. So there was a brief, 10-minute span where she was reading the article where there was some uncertainty here. Turns out, not him. This guy was born in California, travels the world for work. Not him. But what a wild, half an hour it was in my life today.
You had me on the edge of my seat. I was like, dang, is this guy's dad
I
dead?
wanted to send this to the group chat all day long.
Well, my first thought, to be completely honest, is like, is Dave dead? And it's like some Sixth Sense stuff. And I've been on a podcast by myself the whole time. And I'm talking to myself like some,
there's other, so his wife's name was Cindy. My mom said my dad's mom name is Cindy. So there's so many connections here. And it's the oddest thing I've ever seen in my life. Somebody sent it to me originally, and I was like, well, I can confirm that I am indeed not that person that they found.
That's crazy.
Man, all
right, so wait, did the wife and kids kill him? Now I need to know what happened.
I don't think they've decided yet. They're just they were arrested, I guess, for suspecting it, but it doesn't say what they did or how they did it or anything like that. This feels like something that could be turned into a Netflix documentary at some point, and I can't wait to watch because it's going to be, do you know how many texts and calls and all these things I'm going to get? They're going to be like, hey, there's a documentary about a guy on Netflix with your name who was killed by his wife and kids.
What a story.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. But it just, there's other, I know there's, my dad has the same name as me. I know at least I think this something, not like this, but the executive of BP, I think his name was also David Rainey. So when the oil spill happened, I got a bunch of screenshots of articles and stuff like that. So I know there's other ones out there, but this one, the fact that they arrested him on my birthday and had all of that kind of tie in, I was like, this is the oddest thing. But yeah, I was like, I don't know how much I want to share about this, but hey, we're an open book over here. So
it's fine, man. That's nuts. That's insane. I don't know. It was a roller coaster. I'll be honest.
Listen, I know.
I was waiting. I was like, oh man, where's this going? And it's funny because when the story first started, I was thinking it was gonna be some funny
murder mystery thing,
funny story, and then you're like, yeah, this dude was killed by his wife and kids, and I was like, what the hell? What is happening?
It happened in Florida, so it's kind of like a Florida man story in a way. But he's from California, so I don't know how that applies. But yeah, that's really the only topic I had. Between that and baseball, I've been all caught up with life.
Goodness gracious. I'll be honest. I didn't have a ton to talk about. I really wanted to talk about Bluey. We could talk about the Saints. They won.
Yeah, that's fine. We probably should have. What about Michael Pratt? Should we?
Yeah, let's dive into
that for a second.
Let's dive into that. So anybody doesn't know, it was rumored today. Someone tweeted out, and it was I don't know
who that person is.
This account is. It looks like they do some college football stuff, but they're not a very big account. Anyways, they reported that Michael Pratt, in fact, was not going to be declaring for the draft this upcoming season, and he was probably going to be looking to transfer for one more year of eligibility to a Power 5 school. The interwebs were hurt. Tulane fans were hurt. Dave had some thoughts. I had some thoughts. We never actually said them on Twitter, but I'll give you the floor because I know that you said you wanted to save some things for the podcast. So I'll just let you give your thoughts, and then I may agree, but go for it.
Yeah, so I shared it, and I was getting a lot of interactions underneath my tweet, and I didn't reply to anybody. I just kind of was letting people go at it because somebody mentioned going to Washington and following whatever his name is, and I did reply to that, and I was like, people at Tulane weren't a fan of him. I don't know Michael Pratt's relationship with him, obviously, but the general consensus is that's probably not where he would end up. And then I kind of just chimed in, and I was like, he entertained the idea last year, so it's not outlandish that he would be considering it again. And Tulane fans are in there like, there's no way he would leave. Why would he leave? The whole argument was, why would he go to another school and try to learn a new offense and this and that when he could just stay here? And that, I don't want to be the one to say it, but that's a super homer take. If you if you just take a step back and look, and we kind of talked about it, I think last week or whatever it was. I think even by Michael Pratt's admission, this is not the year he expected to have, partially because of injuries, partially because he's coming back from an injury and maybe he's now finally healthy again. But I think what week one was what he was expecting to have every week.
Right.
And like, I don't think his draft stock hasn't dropped, but it hasn't elevated. I think that's fair to say. And I don't know where he was going to be. He wasn't most likely a first round quarterback anyway, not in this draft class.
No,
but like, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to let you finish.
Yeah, I don't think it's such a crazy idea like some Tulane fans think. Like, I think the idea of going learn a new offense, not a big deal. He's a smart guy. Like, it's nothing for him to go learn a new offense. Like, and a lot of these offenses are the same. It's just the verbiage is different. So like, he can learn a new offense, not a big deal, right? And he'd be what, a 5th or 6th year guy at this point. Like, he's a vet at this. That's fine. Also, the Tulane offense, as good as it can be, is not the best offense for him to display his passing ability.
Do you think so? At
a volume rate.
Okay.
Like he gets his chances to, and it's on him to do well with those chances. But like week one, he went off, but he only threw 15 passes. What if he goes to an air raid offense? Right. But what if he goes to an air raid offense that lets him throw the ball 30 chances a game and he's putting up astronomical numbers?
Yeah.
Like he can go so, and this is all hypothetical. Like, I don't know if he's going to leave. He says he's not, so I'm taking his word for it for right now. But he could go somewhere with, I don't know, like, I don't even know where he would go. I would assume somewhere close to home because like we just talked about last week, these guys always want to transfer back home. Like, I would assume it's for a Power 5 team, like they said. He's not going to go transfer to SMU, right? Like somebody on that level. It would be an SEC team, I would assume. But like, what if a team with a quarterback problem like Alabama is like, hey, because they tried to get Miami's quarterback last year. So clearly they're not, pleased with what they have. If Nick Saban calls Michael Pratt and he's like, hey, you can come start for me, every Alabama quarterback gets drafted in the first round.
Not every, but I get the point you're making.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, and I don't want him to. Like, I would love for him to finish his career here another year or just go to the draft. Like, but I'm also not going to be upset if he decides to do what he thinks is best for him, because I wouldn't be mad if another quarterback left and came to Tulane. So you can't be upset if it would benefit you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was looking at it kind of the same way. For basically all the things you said, to be honest, maybe not every single little detail, but I mean, like you said, he would even admit he probably hasn't had the best season. I think he was mocked as like rounds 2 through 5. This quarterback draft is loaded. I mean, it's absolutely loaded. It's probably one of the best it's been in a decade. And he hasn't really stood out. He hasn't played bad. He's still being mocked 2 through 5. I think right now, based on the way everything's played out, he's probably more of a 5. But he still goes in the draft. He still ends up on an NFL roster. Mm-hmm. The question comes in for me at the end of the season. Right now, like, what else is he going to say? Let's be honest. And I'm not calling his integrity into question at all. Like, I think he truly believes, listen, I'm at Tulane. This is my school. Roll wave. We're 1-0, like it's 1-0 every week. And that has to be the mindset because he's a pro. But things change, right? They can. We've seen it with everybody. The most upstanding individuals eventually can change their mind. And I think when the offseason comes, if he looks at his projections in the draft and he's not happy with it, or if he's not happy, feels like he has unfinished business somehow, and teams are knocking on his door, giving him a good pitch, I think it'd be silly for him not to consider it. And I hate that I feel that way because, as a Tulane homer, if I put those shades on for a second, I hate that. That hurts. Like, it really makes me angry. And I feel like what we're building here, he should want to stay, but that's also very selfish of me to say that, right? Like, he's his own person and he deserves to make the right choice for him. So
yeah, it's not, and it's not like he.
No, I was gonna say, I think with all that, I was just meaning to say, like, I basically agree with the point you made.
And it's not like he was here for a couple years and he's like, all right, it's time for me to, like, I'm too big for this. Right.
Right.
Like, the dude has given everything to Tulane. He's broken all the, like, every record. Right. Like
Yeah.
he is he's the greatest Tulane quarterback ever at this point to me. So like he has nothing else to prove here. He got the school its biggest win in history.
And he's on his way to being in another New Year's Six game. If they just went out, I mean,
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like like you said, the question is at the end of the year. Like if he had a good week last week, right? Like he's player of the week and all these things. Like if he's fully back healthy finally, and now we get however many games they have left. Was it 5 games maybe, if that? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the bowl game's probably going to get away in the championship in the bowl game, right? If they win out, even if he has mediocre games, if he goes off, if he plays like a big SEC school or something in the bowl game, and he just obliterates them or just has a good game, that's when it's going to be like, oh, okay, I can go to the draft. It doesn't matter. Like I've proven I can play. Like
he also gets the benefit of the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, like that the Senior Bowl kind of gave Tajay a little edge last year.
And Dorian.
And Dorian. So like, you know, he gets the benefit, which he'd get the benefit of the Senior Bowl regardless, whether he goes out this year or next year. But like he gets that extra bit. I just like to say, it's just so the homer takes are, and I get it. I love Tulane, but I understand there are people that are much more diehard Tulane fans than I am. Like it was awesome. It meant the world to me that Tulane won last year, but there are people that live and breathe Tulane football. And that's the ones that would be hurt by it. And they're kind of like, I don't want it to happen. And that's fair.
Sure.
But like, at the same time, like I have all the respect in the world for Michael Pratt. So if he decides that going to a bigger school is what's best for him after everything he did at Tulane, like, thanks for all the memories. And I hope you go win a national championship somewhere.
I would probably become a fan of whatever school he went to be honest. Like I would watch, I would root for him. And if I check my gut right now, just give one flat answer, I don't think this happens. I don't think he transfers to another school. I'll be completely honest. But I think it's silly to say that it won't happen.
Yeah, especially when it almost did. Right?
Yeah, but that's not on the record anywhere. Like, no, like I don't know if that's ever like been said publicly. So it's all speculation. You know, it's like hearsay. I believe it. I'll be honest. I 100% believe it. But you know, who am I?
Yeah,
I'm just a guy.
Like, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I just wanted like you gotta. If you're a Tulane fan, like if it happens, and I'm with you right now, I'm leaning towards it doesn't. But if it happens, like just please don't feel any negative way towards Michael Pratt, because like
zero.
With the way Tulane is building, at some point they're going to benefit from one of these quarterbacks transferring in.
Yeah.
So like, and you'll be ecstatic about it. So you can't,
Listen, that's the beauty of college football, right? Like these guys are gonna leave. It's gonna happen, whether it's to the pros, whether it's just graduating, whether it's transferring, it's gonna happen. And then there's gonna be another guy that walks through that door. Is he gonna be as good? Right. Maybe not, but you don't know that yet. Just ride the wave.
I was gonna say, no pun intended. The next wave of guys comes in and
Mekhi Hughes, perfect example. People are like, oh, what happens? Tajay's gone. We have no clear-cut like top guy anymore. These guys aren't as good as Tajay. Not that they're bad. And then Mekhi Hughes is now in every conversation being compared to Tajay Spears.
Right. Now if he stays for 4 years, it could possibly break all the rushing records.
Right. Exactly.
So,
it's funny how that happens. It's college football, man.
That is college
year
football.
over year. Speaking of, and we could put a bow on Tulane, but we alluded to it. They're in the driver's seat now for the New Year's Six bowl game. You know, I think they're 24, and you got Air Force right behind them at 25. So there's a little bit of like don't have a barn burner against a bad team and let Air Force keep blowing out these teams. Like you got to take care of business, but you're in the driver's seat.
Air Force also has a stronger remaining strength of schedule.
Do they?
Yeah.
Their schedule's terrible though.
I saw somebody that page I shared in our group a couple weeks ago. They posted something earlier. Off the top of my head, I don't remember, or I would give them the credit for it. But they posted the remaining strength of schedules, and it's a very slight. It's like the slightest of a stronger schedule. I think it also kind of depends on who Tulane ends up playing in the conference championship, which right now I think is projected to be SMU. but I don't know. Somebody, I think, is it UTSA maybe right behind them? I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Both of those schools aren't performing the way I thought they would. Not that they're not playing well, because they could definitely come in and beat you. But
I'm sorry, like, Memphis is like right there behind them.
Okay. Yeah, Memphis is one. I mean, Tulane already played them. So,
but yeah, they're in the driver's seat. Like I don't. What were they ranked going into the Cotton Bowl? You remember? Was it like mid-teens?
It was mid. Yeah, it wasn't in the 20s. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Because I think it was like 14, 15, and then they jumped to like 9 at the when it was all said and done. So you need a couple. I think they need a few people to lose. Maybe because of what they did last year, they can get back into one. But they need a few. I think they need a few people to slip up, and so they can jump up. Maybe you jump up maybe five spots or so.
Well, you get the automatic bid either way, right? Like the group of 5 team. If you're the top ranked group of 5 team, I believe. I could be wrong. Somebody will check me on that. I believe you get the automatic bid.
Well, good for them.
That's
I hope so.
Yeah. That was why when I saw it, I was like, hell yeah, you're in the driver's seat now.
Yep. Pressure's on. Just finish the job. Yeah. That's it. What we said it last week or week before, like just win games. Like that's all your favorite from here out. So just handle business and get it done. They didn't cover them.
They didn't cover. I was going to tweet that because they were covering. They were destroying them, and this is 2 weeks in a row where they just they just fell apart in the second half. Like they won the game, and the end of the game they had that very interesting. Did you see the end of the game? I'm not sure if you were able to catch it this week.
No, I didn't see the end of this one.
This is a very, very interesting into the game with clock management. There was someone in a Tulane group that I'm in was like trying to explain it analytically. And in my head, I was like, you left time on the clock when you didn't have to. Like you could have just ran the ball a play or two. And instead you took 3 knees and then threw it 30 feet in the air and gave them the ball back with time. And that's weird to me. I don't know why you did it.
Listen, I don't need to hear anything about time management. My other team had the biggest time management blunder I've ever seen in my life.
So the rebuttal to that, though, because people were saying that was, yeah, well, look at Miami. You could have been Miami and fumbled the ball if you run it. And I'm like, well, you could have, but
it's a completely different situation because the game was over.
Right.
Like Miami literally did not have to do anything except kneel the ball. Like,
right.
We don't need to get into that though. Miami would be 7-1 if they would have just knelt the ball.
Just kneel the ball.
Yeah.
Tyler Van Dyke would still be starting quarterback. It would be fine.
An idiot.
It would be fine.
Just
that's tough.
That's all. I don't have anything else to really talk about.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know. I wish we did like a fun top 5. It's always weird being remote like this. We got to, I think if you got anything off the top of your head, obviously throw it out. But I think next week I'm going to be more particular about like topics and making sure we can have a little bit of fun here.
Well, we might have some guests next week, so it might be a little bit more planned out.
Okay.
Also, Dylan wants to come. He said he had to go be a family man tonight, which respect.
Fair.
But being virtual is a lot easier to have guests.
Yeah.
So we can do that. I don't know if I have a top 5. I feel like we've already done like top 5 Halloween candies before. Maybe
we did. Yeah. We probably did.
When does the Christmas tree go up?
Oh, that's a great question. All right, we're gonna close on that, and then one more I got. Christmas tree. If you ask my wife, it went up yesterday or last night. No, it didn't. We have not. She asked me to start decorating, and I was like, I am so busy. Like I'm not gonna tell you no that like I don't want to decorate.
Well, you got to go chop a whole tree down. You do the whole thing. So.
Yeah. No, our tree will not go up until after Thanksgiving. That's just my personal belief.
Yeah, I agree. My wife also feels the same way. That Christmas started yesterday or whatever. And,
I'll be honest. I was ordering Starbucks and they were out of the syrup that I normally get. I normally get hazelnut, which I don't do it a lot, but actually I do. I do it all the time and I don't know why. But they were out and I was like, man, all right, what do they have? I don't like anything else. And then I opened it up and I saw all the holiday flavors and I was like, give me the sugar cookie.
This is just because I have a bone to pick with Starbucks. It's the only reason I'm blaming them. Because we've talked about this. You asked me before, what is my favorite like holiday coffee drink? And I told you it is the toasted white mocha from Starbucks, which happens every single year for Christmas. And shout out to my little sister because she texted me this morning to tell me that Starbucks no longer offers the toasted white mocha for the holiday drinks. It's just gone. And I saw Starbucks reply to somebody saying that flavors come and go. go find a new favorite, basically. And like, there ain't no new favorites to be had. Like, bring me my toasted white mocha back. This is blasphemy.
They took the Disney approach. I hated that. Let me tell you, guys, I was so mad, and I did not mean to get on this topic. I was so mad when we did our world tour. The whole time going in, there is one drink that every time I go to Epcot was my favorite drink. It was sugary and tart and all this stuff, whatever. It was the blood orange margarita from there's this little tequila bar inside the Mexican pavilion. My favorite place to go. The margaritas are phenomenal. Anyways, I see blood orange margarita on the menu, and I just order it. I don't read the description. I'm like, yeah, that's the same one. They make it, and I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Doesn't have the little orange foam that it normally has. And I asked, and he's like, oh, we stopped doing that years ago. And in my head, I'm like, no, you didn't. I was just here last year. Anyways, I'm like, whatever. I don't need the foam. It's fine. I'll just drink it. It's still going to taste good. I take a sip, instantly hit with the flavor of mezcal, and I'm pissed. I'm like, what is in this?
What's worse, that they change it and you don't like it, or that they don't offer it anymore? Like, what would have been the scenario to make you less angry? Because you were upset. It almost ruined our whole plan.
The reason I was upset was his response, which I haven't said yet. It was basically when I said, hey, is there a mezcal in this? Did you guys change this? And he looks at me and he says, yeah, buddy, things change. And I was like, excuse me? Do you know where I am right now? This is Disney. Anyways, I think that if they would have just been like, oh yeah, we can make the other one. Like it's literally like, it's tequila and random other ingredients. Like, they have all the stuff. He may not know how to do it, but like, if they would have offered to make it, I would have been fine. But because there wasn't even the option to have it, I was like, I hate this. I was so upset. I literally sat there like pouting, drinking this disgusting mezcal margarita.
Yeah.
It was awful.
But yep. So I also, just to put a bow on that, I also looked at the Starbucks app this morning, knowing that the holiday flavors were coming out, because I enjoy the holiday flavor, which I've never had the sugar cookie. That feels like something I would like. Maybe I need to try that.
It was good. I never had it until today.
Yeah, I also opened up the app on my way home from work yesterday, because Starbucks is the only thing open at 5 a.m. And I was going to stop, get me a little toasted white mocha to get me across the long-ass causeway. And then, nope, wasn't there. So I was upset.
Bunch of basic white bitches enjoying their Starbucks. You hear that?
You said you had one more thing.
The official podcast of coffee free agents everywhere. Sorry, I had to throw that in. I did have one more thing, but I feel like we're dragging this out. We're over an hour now, but we will go into it. What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Favorite Thanksgiving dish? For a while, it was turkey, but then it's become ham. Like, just the good, like specifically like my grandma's honey baked ham with a little side of her mac and cheese. That's my go-to.
Is it homemade, like honey baked ham, or is it like actual honey baked ham from like the?
No, it's homemade. She gets the ham, does the whole thing, makes her own glaze, whatever. Nice. So like, it's legit homemade. And I've had like the one from honey baked ham, and that one is not as good. Still solid, but not as good. But like, that paired with her mac and cheese, and then like plate 2 is like roast rice and gravy.
Okay, interesting palate. I feel like you're all about the meats. I love the meats. It's like Arby's. But I if I'm picking one thing, man, I'm going for the shrimp and melatonin dressing. Like, that is my jam. It's got to be made right. Some people really butcher it and they will ruin it for you. But if it's made right and it's got all the flavors, man, that stuff's good. I'm telling you.
See, I don't like a lot of the Thanksgiving desserts. Like, I don't like yams.
Yeah.
Like, that's not for me. My grandma makes a artichoke, which is like Courtney's favorite and my mom's favorite, which I don't eat that. Like, I don't eat a lot of what you just said. Like, I'm not gonna
eat the dressings, like I've always I also don't understand the concept of a dressing. Why are we just throwing everything in a giant? First of all, it's made in a pot and then dumped into a big pan, and then you just like scoop this slop out and slam it on a plate and eat it. Like, the whole concept of that to me feels very archaic. But I'm here for it. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm gonna eat it.
I've been wanting to make a smoked turkey. I haven't, since I bought my smoker. I've been wanting to make one, and I haven't done it yet. It just feels like it would take so long, and I just so impatient.
But it's okay. A lot of great meats that are smoked take a long time, and that's okay.
It's true. It's very true.
I will come sit at your house for like 18 hours one day with you, and we will. I don't know how long it takes to make a turkey. Depends on the weight, I guess. But we'll just have a few beers and watch replays of the Rangers winning the World Series.
A lot more than a few in 18 hours.
I'm gonna take a nap in between is what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So you know what? I'll be working Thanksgiving, so I don't even think I get to do it. So, oh well.
Poor guy.
Yep.
All right, close it out.
Wrapping it up. I'm gonna share something real quick because we have the ability to do this. We have new merch on the Squeeze, aka That Baseball Pod, which is slowly rebranding in case nobody notices.
Love it.
We have new merch. Bam. Can you see?
I can see. Look at that.
Right.
Well, the merch isn't actually pulled up. This is our website, guys. If you've never seen our website,
this is
what it looks
your
like.
Yeah, you should go. This is your new merch that you put out. Shout out to the Pels.
I may pull that down. I have a whole line, just giving you a glimpse behind the scenes here. I have a whole line I'm thinking of with this concept. I put this specific one out because I made it, and then I had someone on our team that was really interested in putting it on a shirt, so I just threw it on one.
Yeah.
But
so
what you got?
These are the new Squeeze Pod merch, the Unwritten Rules shirts. If you haven't seen the video, you can go to @That Baseball Pod, check out the video we put out, the trailer for these, I guess, is what you could call it. And yeah, so unwritten rules are meant to be broken. As we've mentioned before, baseball's unwritten rules are a complete joke, and we do not support them.
Sure are.
So that's
sure
the
stare down that pitcher after you hit a home run. I love it.
Absolutely.
Flip the bat. Give me all of it.
Spike it into tomorrow.
Throw it into the fans. Actually, if you're on the road and you just hate the fans, just throw it. I don't care.
You know what?
Just have a
go. I want to see somebody after they hit a home run touch home plate. You know what? Yeah, touch home plate and then just go Lambeau leap. If you hit a walk off, go Lambeau leap.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks have a pool. Just go run to the pool.
Yeah, the guys are all going to be trying to hit you. Squeeze your way out of this little mosh pit that they're attacking you in and run your ass across the outfield into that pool. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's it. Follow us everywhere. Go check out the Kneaux YouTube. We need to really start building the Kneaux YouTube. Everything's going to start funneling through there. We have such a network of talented people here. And if you're just following us, you're really missing out. The Kneaux.com. YouTube is @BeinTheKnow. Go check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Talking to put out. Is it out today or is it?
It'll be out after this is out. Yeah, around the same time. But yeah. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Talking I had chef. I can't even think of her name. She's on Hell's Kitchen. Amazing interview. She was so much fun.
Yeah. So check them out. I'm sure Formally Informal comes out tomorrow. Jacob and Dylan will probably be doing their stuff, post-game recaps, Chrissy, all of that good stuff. So
Pels Press and @Home Court Show, I think is what it is on YouTube. It's all it's all on the Kneaux YouTube. So go check it out. You can find it all there. That's it. See y'all soon. Later.